Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. In 1966, the tomb of the famous eunuch Li Lianying was discovered in Beijing. However, when the archaeologists opened the coffin, they were immediately shocked by what they found between the legs inside the coffin. The sight left everyone present in a state of terror. Even more surprising was the discovery of a braid in the coffin, which unexpectedly revealed the truth behind Li Lianying's death. As the experts continued their investigation, they realized that their long-held understanding had been completely misled by historical documents. They all exclaimed, "We've been deceived by history books." So, what astonishing secret was uncovered in Li Lianying's tomb? How was the real cause of his death finally revealed? In 1966, on a school playground in Haidian, Beijing, a group of children were enjoying their game. As they were packing up to leave, one child accidentally fell to the ground. That's when they noticed an inconspicuous mound of earth in one corner of the playground. Beside the mound stood a weathered, white marble tombstone, its inscription worn down by the years and the rain. But with careful inspection, they could still make out a few characters: Li Dezongguan's tomb. This discovery soon caused a huge sensation, as the name Li Dezongguan was not unfamiliar. It referred to one of the most powerful eunuchs in Chinese history, Li Lianying. The unexpected find clearly held immense historical value. Upon hearing the news, the Beijing government quickly dispatched a professional team to the site to begin protective excavation work. However, they never imagined that this excavation would unexpectedly unravel the mystery of Li Lianying's true cause of death. When the tomb was opened, the experts quickly began their exploration, only to find that the scale of the tomb far exceeded expectations. The interior was lavishly decorated. What was even more surprising was that Li Lianying's burial method was golden well and jade burial, a treatment reserved only for royal family and nobility. Although Li Lianying had been extremely powerful during his life, he was ultimately just a eunuch. How could he be granted such an honor in death? This puzzled the experts even further. With these doubts, the experts carefully opened the coffin. What they saw shocked everyone present. Inside the coffin, there was only a head and a braid, lying alone. The rest of Li Lianying's body was missing. Even more bizarrely, where his legs should have been, two shoes filled with cotton were placed. A strange atmosphere pervaded the tomb, and this sight made Li Lianying's cause of death even more mysterious, leaving the experts baffled and wondering if they had dug up the wrong tomb. As everyone stood confused, one archaeologist suddenly gasped in astonishment, drawing the attention of all. They realized that the braid inside the coffin was not naturally grown, but had been artificially joined. There was a clear break in the middle of the braid, with the upper part being pale and the lower part dark and glossy. Upon seeing this, the experts had a bold guess: Li Lianying might not have died of natural causes but rather suffered a brutal decapitation. With this question in mind, the experts quickly carried out field investigations and further research. To their surprise, they found that the details of Li Lianying's death, as described by his adopted granddaughter Li Zhenle, did not match the historical accounts. Li Zhenle claimed that Li Lianying died in the spring, a time not typically associated with the outbreak of disease. This made her account difficult to fully believe. After further research into the social background and historical details of the time, the expert team finally uncovered the mystery behind Li Lianying's death. It turned out that in the late Qing Dynasty, the country was in a state of upheaval, and the imperial court was divided into two opposing factions, one led by the conservative Empress Dowager Cixi and the other by the reformist Emperor Guangxu. These two factions fought fiercely, creating a tense political situation. As a high-ranking eunuch, Li Lianying became a very special figure in this environment. Although he was a favorite of Empress Dowager Cixi, he skillfully navigated the two camps, maintaining good relations with both Cixi and Emperor Guangxu. However, this delicate balance did not last long. After Cixi's death, Lianying, without her protection, realized he was in danger and feared he would become a target for revenge. So, he voluntarily resigned from his position as Grand Eunuch and gave up all his life savings in an attempt to secure his safety. However, despite Lianying acting cautiously and trying to remain low profile in his later years, he was still unable to escape the disaster that befell him. The historical records regarding his cause of death are likely altered by certain powers to cover up the truth. Lianying's funeral was very low-key, and the burial site was in a remote location. The grave was constructed with extremely sturdy, 3-compound soil, leaving almost no trace behind. What was even more strange was that his body was incomplete, only his head and a braid remained in the coffin. These unusual actions have only deepened the experts' suspicions. Lianying's death was not natural, but the result of someone silencing him. To this day, many historians continue to explore and attempt to uncover the true cause of Lianying's death. According to relevant historical records, Lianying's original name was Li Jingxing, born in the 28th year of the Daoguang reign, 1848. His hometown was in Desheng County of Shuntian Prefecture, now part of Hebei, Desheng County, Zhangtuan Township, Lijia Village. And his ancestral home was in Chiha, Shandong. In the 5th year of the Xianfeng reign, he was forced to be castrated and became a eunuch, entering the palace the following year. In the 6th year of the Tongzhi reign, Lianying was appointed as the second steward and was given the name Lianying by Empress Dowager Cixi. Lianying enjoyed deep favor from Empress Dowager Cixi. Even within the palace system where eunuchs were not supposed to rank higher than the 4th grade, Lianying broke the rules and was appointed as the second-rank chief eunuch, responsible for overseeing all eunuchs in the palace. As the most powerful eunuch in the late Qing Dynasty, his relationship with Empress Dowager Cixi was unparalleled. Lianying became the first person to refer to Empress Dowager Cixi as Old Buddha. Lianying spent nearly 53 years in the palace, accompanying Empress Dowager Cixi through her later years. In the first year of the Xiantong reign, 1909, at the age of 61, he retired after mourning for 100 days following Cixi's death. Lianying passed away in the 3rd year of the Xiantong reign at the age of 63. The relationship between Empress Dowager Cixi and Lianying was very special. As a power-hungry, ruthless dictator, Empress Dowager Cixi was often seen as cold and unfeeling by outsiders. However, in her private life, she was a fragile, lonely old woman. Many of her servants were replaced over time, but the only ones who truly understood and alleviated her troubles were Hai and Lianying. A late Qing eunuch, Lu Xingqiao, once recalled that Empress Dowager Cixi and Lianying shared a deep emotional bond. Lianying was adept at resolving Cixi's worries, and he was the one who served her best. In the book A Glimpse into Life in the Late Qing Palace, Lu Xingqiao recalled that every day, at 3 meal times and during morning and evening routines, Empress Dowager Cixi and Lianying would either send eunuchs to inquire about each other or do so face-to-face. When they stayed in the Western Garden or the Summer Palace, Cixi would often ask Lianying to walk with her and even summon him to her sleeping quarters to discuss the secrets of long life according to the Huanglao philosophy. They often talked late into the night. This recollection reveals Lianying's indispensable role in Cixi's later years, almost becoming her life companion and accompanying her through her lonely times. Lianying in the palace was not just Cixi's personal head eunuch, he also knew how to win her favor. Once, to celebrate her birthday, Empress Dowager Cixi visited the Summer Palace. Lianying arranged a release of birds and fish ceremony. However, after they were released, the birds and fish returned almost immediately. Lianying seized the opportunity to say, "Old Buddha, your blessings are so great that even the birds and fish can't bear to leave." Although Cixi knew something was amiss, she was still very pleased and rewarded Li Lianying. Behind this, however, was Li Lianying's meticulous arrangement. He had starved the birds and fish for an entire day, and after releasing them, guided them back to their cages. According to relevant historians, Li Lianying's historical image is difficult to assess in simple terms. On one hand, he displayed extraordinary political wisdom and cunning, successfully surviving and thriving in the complex palace power struggles. On the other hand, his excessive pursuit of personal power and interests was closely related to the decline of the late Qing Dynasty. To some extent, he was a microcosm of court politics, reflecting the corruption and decline of the Qing Dynasty's internal political system. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.